Hello everyone, welcome to Atlanta Brickco TV. I'm the host Mark. Today I'm talking to Joe.
That's right there.
Yeah, right. I can read it right there. Joe, about Joe's famous Tank Battles Army here.
Right.
In preparation for some upcoming games to be
That's
featured
right.
in live streams here at the channel. But Joe, now the season started out recently. We've had some games. We haven't played as of filming this.
Our matchup is next as of filming.
Coming up soon. But you've played Tank Battles before, isn't that right?
Yeah, it's been, I'd say like 5 or 6 times in total.
So plenty of experience. You know the rules of the game. You're actually the commissioner of the league, right?
That's true. Commissioner Joe, they call me.
Exactly. So you've had a few Tank Battles armies before. Want to describe them briefly before we get into it?
So this is my first real Tank Battles army because I've had an army of Coles, which is cool, but the tanks I used were just taking sets and strapping guns to them.
Yeah, simple.
And then same thing with the 187th. I used the tanks from that set, 75342,
which work very well.
They work fine, but I really wanted to make some custom ones that fit like my very specific army, and then I can actually have my own tanks. So I said, I built these.
Yeah, exactly. So custom mods, fully embracing the Tank Battles.
And it's from my favorite theme. So
Lord of the Rings, of course. So obviously you're a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Is that pretty much the chief inspiration here?
Definitely. Yeah. It was like I thought about doing a Lord of the Rings army, but I was like, well, the Uruk-hai is what I have a lot of, and like they're just too expensive, and they're brittle because of the
prone
color.
to breaking.
So I was like, I don't want to put those on the table. They get shot off and cracked.
Yeah, your foot's cracked. Your
arm's
cracked.
So I was like, man, what? I don't have anything. And then I was looking literally a couple weeks ago as I was getting everything going for the season. I was like, well, I got to do my own army. I was like, I keep forgetting about this. And I was like, wait, I started counting these the Gundabad orcs, and I was like, they're not that bad, and they're not as expensive. I was like, how many? And I was like, I'm close. So I do need to buy a couple more. I have, I think, 14 total figs here.
Yeah, over a dozen.
And I'll need 4 more for my amount to be accurate.
For that 30 points we're going for,
So I've got to get a couple more, but they're not too expensive. Maybe $20 each.
I've remarked on that before. I'm like, there's, most Lord of the Rings figures are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But these are like at least purchasable, right?
There's like 1 or 2 in several of the Hobbit sets, and the Hobbit sets were a little easier to find just because like Lord of the Rings is like everyone loves Lord of the Rings. Some people didn't like Hobbit as much, or some of the sets weren't as good, so you could find these a little more easier.
A very cool Gundabad orcs, right?
They're Gundabad to the bone.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And but before we get too far into the tanks themselves, talk about your shirt, your logo, and your team name here.
Yeah. So Daniel cooked. I mean, with our logo, he rocked and rolled. He does have a degree in this, so I mean, it makes
packaging, graphic design.
Dol Guldur is where these orcs. I mean, they're technically the Gundabad orcs, but they're also in Dol Guldur. That's the fortress they're using. So we're the Dol Guldur dragons because the Dragon Knights is what Daniel has.
Yeah.
So we put our team together. You've got this really cool like dragon at the bottom with some spikes that look very similar to like Sauron's helmet.
Yeah, the crown. Yeah.
So a cool design, and then obviously the font looks sick, and then we've got our very exciting Gundabad to the bone slogan on the back.
You guys actually have an official slogan.
We do. We're
Not everyone else has that. Yeah,
we've also been called the Gundabaddies before. yeah. So
that's a good one.
We've got some good stuff going for us.
Yes, in the British sense of the word, you are the baddies. You're the bad guys.
That's right. We're the bad guys.
So, and then it's nice that you have a good thematic partner with Daniel and his evil castle faction.
They actually fit really well together because we've seen Daniel's in previous videos. He also has siege equipment as his army tank, so it works out. That's what I wanted to go for too.
Tank battles can lean a little sci-fi sometimes, but medieval stuff actually works.
Because we both have it, I think our team's going to look great together.
Yeah, you have the aesthetic down pat.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the physicality of these tanks a little bit. You've constructed them yourself. Correct. You've got a couple mechanisms, different strategies. You got one low to the ground, one up high. How do you think these are going to play out in the field of battle?
Yeah, I am excited. As much as this is probably I obviously spent the most time on this one.
Yeah.
This one might be my favorite.
It's more fun.
To make the record straight, because some of you might go, hey, that's a set. This is from a set.
Gotcha.
So this is from I think it's just called Battle of the Five Armies. That's the City of Dale ruin, the little tan building.
And a big catapult,
And it comes with this big catapult and a launching mechanism. So I did deconstruct that a little bit up top because I liked the base, and I was like, well, this is kind of what I want is a big crossbow, so there's no reason to change it much. So I changed it to where the mechanism, instead of launching something, just moves the tank or moves the gun up. So I can move the gun up,
more customization there,
more side to side. And a lot of times people forget to make their guns able to shoot down because sometimes you do need to shoot some low shots. Not often, but sometimes. So it's nice that I can angle it down.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to break it. But
a little flexibility is very important.
Yes. And then, going for it just is a cool feature. I'm going to be like, excuse me.
Yep. Moving elements in tanks is actually a very popular thing. So.
And the slight slant on this might be great, might not be great. Because if someone hits it, it could fall off easier. Or they might have a glancing blow. So we'll see how that factors into it.
Yeah. I have to test how strong the flags are if the angle has any contributing factor to that. So.
But this is the Warg wagon.
Yep.
Which
nice.
I was like, I just need to put something small together because I'd already done this one. And then I started building, and I was like, what would be cool? It was wargs. And I was like, I wonder... And I had these 2 parts, which I don't have a lot of parts for mock building. I will just put that out there, which I'm very limited. So I was like, I'm not going to do something too big, like something like this again. And I just started fiddling with it, and it turned out so beautiful.
That's excellent.
It looks like a cool battle wagon with a cool big crossbow on top.
Looks like a chariot almost.
Right, yeah, a very, very chariot-like. We've got a little gate that actually doesn't physically open that much, just aesthetically there.
Yeah, it keeps everything inside.
The gun can come out some, so I've got that mobility to get good range. And it might be loose, but it's one of those guns I can hold like this and aim pretty well. A
one shot, you can kind of zero in on the target.
Exactly. So this is probably just my favorite because it's cute and the wargs are funny.
Yep.
Little warg wagon.
You can imagine them zipping around the battlefield. Yeah. So. And then finally, most of your mock efforts over here looks very Lord of the Rings Evil Tower-esque.
So I had a bag of like a 60% complete black gate.
Nice.
So when I bought the black gate I have, it also had about 60% of another one because I bought it used.
Parts,
so I had all those in a bag, and I was like, maybe I'll build the second half because you can put 2 of those together. And so I hadn't done any I hadn't dumped them in my bulk.
Yeah.
So I had kept them separate. So I was like, well, I'm never actually going to do that. So I poured it out and started just going to town with it, and ended up. This is almost all the parts are actually from the Black Gate set.
Yeah.
Some of them are not, and this is what I ended up with, the Black Siege Tower of the Gunda baddies.
Yep. Now this is basically an alt build of the Black Gate.
Almost,
then, huh?
Yeah. And then I liked the way this turned out. This is legal. This is legal.
Yep.
Because I used the tiles instead of plates. But I've got that little. I just was like, well, a ladder makes sense. You always have a ladder to go up into the siege tower.
Yeah.
The door I did have functioning where it would open, but for the play, I was like, there's no need for it, so I made it where it won't open.
Locked it in there. Yeah.
I could change that if I ever wanted to. But the guns. We do have 2 up here.
Class 2 tank.
Flag post is high, which sometimes gives people trouble, which is good. But yes, this is. I thought I almost did all class 1s, but it's nice to have a class 2 because if I go like this and I shoot this one and I just miss, and I'm like, oh, I have that line. All I have to do is just adjust a little, and then you've got this. Then that's the nice thing about having 2 right beside each other.
A second try.
If this gets it out, that's tough because that's 2 guns. But it's worth it. So
it's so much more accurate because of that second shot in the same vicinity.
You're like, boom! Oh, I just missed high. You just lower a little, and then you've got it. So a lot of times you'll see Steven and Chris both have very accurate ones with very fine-tuned adjustments, and you see them do that a lot. They'll just miss, and then they adjust a little, and then they hit it.
That's Chris's go-to. Is actually a similar configuration.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah. So it doesn't have any gearbox or anything, just simple lift arms, but I think it's enough.
And you've got a fearsome orc army out here, too.
The Gunda bad orcs.
You need to collect a few more, but do you have any favorites in here that are standing out?
Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of similar. This one's the only one I have with hair.
Yep.
Just because they came without hair more often. So this guy's kind of like, I'd say, second in command. Because, if you're bald in the Gundabad army, that's a bad look for you. You're just kind of one of the lackeys.
Yep.
And then I have, from like a Lord of the Rings lot I bought a couple years ago, I have a Azog that, this is an extra. So it doesn't count as one of the figures I have.
It's one of the bonus ones.
I just have this guy. He doesn't have the claw piece. So this is Azog leading his armies before Thorin chopped off that hand.
Yep, before he got his prosthetic one.
Yeah, so this is, I'll give him a good weapon too, but I just pulled him out of my minifigs this morning. So I've got a good army here. A lot of them, there's a lot of variety for them all being the same. Some of them got different shoulder armor, different couple arrows on there too.
Organic looking.
Yeah, they're going to be a fearsome army to meet against.
I'm excited to face off against them. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Now, like we said, we haven't really had a full battle with this army specifically.
Correct.
But what are some of your very vague strategies, like some concepts you might be employing? Don't share too much because obviously
you're the opponent.
I'm your first opponent.
I see how this is.
Alex had some great things about being flexible. Do you have any things you'll be trying to adhere to for your first battle?
I mean, definitely like a good call is like you've got class ones. These are the ones you send out.
Mm-hmm.
They can move faster anyway, but these are the ones you want to send out. And like if you lose them, it's tough. But you want to kind of this guy probably won't go forward much because I'm going to want to hang back and just take those long shots that I can do an adjustment to.
Yeah.
And then I mean I'm pretty strategic when it comes to elimination, which is how we're playing this season.
Yeah.
And move all those troops, get them to the tower, hide them, get them hidden. If they're out in the open, there's danger.
And get good rolls.
Yeah,
that's always you got to be lucky.
See, that's brutal.
Yeah.
And get good power ups because you guys are helping us out this season.
Yeah, like we were, me and Alex were talking about just a minute ago. The power ups have been a game changer this whole season.
Huge.
So.
Yeah, I mean we've played one game so far, and it changed the game. Honestly, I think it swung it a little bit in favor of. Now the power-ups are even, but it did swing in favor of Alex and Steven, and they pulled off the victory. It was close. Yeah. They did pull it off. So I'm excited to see how you guys contribute to the match, and you could make me get wiped out instantly, or maybe I'll wipe Mark out instantly. It's so unknown.
Someone gets revived.
The joy of tank paddles.
Exactly. Almost just, not the joy of destruction.
Joy of tank paddles. They got destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Very cool, Joe. Now, we haven't even, neither you nor I have played a game yet.
Correct.
There's several season games, and then there's the finals, of course.
There's 4 teams, for those of you who don't know. 4 teams. Each team will play the other team one time. So that each team will have 3 matchups for a total of 6 games.
Regular season.
Right. So the people with the highest record, obviously the number 1 seed, lowest record 4 seed, they would play each other, and then the 2nd and 3rd seed will play each other, and then the championship.
Yes. No games played so far. What are your predictions for you and Daniel going forward?
I think we could go 2-1. That's my hopes. You know, I could see us winning only one and
over
being
50%.
Tough, but
right?
I think we can go 2-1, and 2-1 might be the top seed. So I think it could go where none of us are undefeated, and it comes down to matchups. Is going to be who's the highest seed. But I hope for a 2-1. We could go 3-0.
Yeah,
I'm not going to put that against us, but we haven't. Like, this is new Army for me.
Yeah.
Daniel has played a couple times, so he's doing well. He was good in the practice one we did, and I was glad to see that.
That's good.
So I think we could be really good, or we could just have a great time.
You're hopeful for good success, but you're looking forward to the match nonetheless.
I think our ceiling is 3-0.
Yeah.
But I think our floor would be 2-1 or 1-2. Yeah. I don't expect us to go 0-3.
Yeah.
I don't think any team will. But
hopefully,
if they do. It's probably a different team.
we'll do my video later.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited to see the season play out for you guys.
I am excited. This is the first time we've actually kept track and had specific teams matched up against each other.
Yes.
This is huge, and it's new for us, so if there's anything you guys have feedback on, please let us know. We'd love to hear that in the comments.
Absolutely.
So, that's all I got.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Joe, for sharing your tank battles, tanks, and armies. Looking forward to the matches. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because every other Thursday, basically, for the next few weeks, we're going to be having tank battles matches at 4 p.m. Eastern. Right. So stay tuned for all those.
So Thursday, the 29th, we are going against him.
Yeah. That's coming up soon.
It's going to be a good matchup. Be there, 4 p.m. live stream. Don't miss it.
Alrighty. Well, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.